Don't let your mama go be a cowboy, make them be doctors and lawyers and such. Thank you for joining us. If you'll stand, Dr. Hager is going to lead us in the pledge of the first.
Heavenly Father, coming in prayer today, Lord, we thank you today that you've given us an opportunity to be here today, Lord. Lord, we thank you for the gift of your Son, Jesus, and the grace he brings to our lives, Lord. Lord, I ask you to be with us as we conduct this meeting and conduct the business of this institution, Lord. Give us patience and wisdom and knowledge to do what's best. Lord, I ask you to be with each person that is here today, and thank you for the many blessings in our life. Lead us, guide us, and direct us in all that we do. All these things for we ask in your precious name. Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we should have an agenda in front of us. We have a motion to approve that. So moved. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. We should also have an agenda or a minutes from the last meeting. We can get approval on those.
I'll second the motion.
Motion approved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Takes us to the financial report today. If Ms. Eubank is ready.
Turning your board books over to page 7. So it compares our current fiscal year as of the end of April to the previous fiscal year at the same time. You can see we're pretty comparable in most categories there, as you've seen in previous months. Our grants this year are a little bit more than in the previous years, of course, largely due to the COVID pandemic. The following page, then looking at our expenses, again, pretty comparable. You can see that our operating expenses were a bit higher this year, but other categories, our operating or salaries and benefits are a bit lower, kind of offsetting that. So if you look at page 9 of the revenues minus expenses, you can see that we're just slightly behind where we were last fiscal year. This far into the fiscal year, that's pretty much what where we would expect to end up, as we predicted, a decrease in enrollment as compared to the previous fiscal year, so that's reflected in that number. Next few pages are just the underlying numbers for that. So then if you look over on page 12, we look at the current fiscal year with our preliminary May numbers, looking at budget versus actual. There you can see that we're right on target or having even exceeded revenue projections in a couple of categories on the top half and are looking at our revenue. So we'll still have some summer enrollment left before we complete the year on there. So we're in a good position. Looking at the bottom half of that page on our expenses, kind of using our 92% of the fiscal year as our guideline, you can see that most of our categories are actually even below or at that target. Grant expenses exceeded expenses, but you can notice on the top half, so has revenue. So that's actually moved to the bottom. Following that, our details and then the capital budget on page 14. I'm sure Dr. Payne will give a construction update on those projects. And then on page 17, looking at our cash position and time. This is as of the first part of June 7th. So we have fall and spring aid done, not quite having got summer aid yet. That will probably fall into the next fiscal year in July. So that's standing on there. On the following pages there, then you see the CDs that we have. You'll notice that we no longer have any contingency CDs. As you know, interest rates have been extremely low. So those contingency CDs have been cashed out because we're earning more interest in our checking account than we were in purchasing CDs. So that cash is there. It's just in the form of cash. You see in that cash pie versus in the form of a CD. On page 20, we did not have any changes to CDs this month. And then on page 22, we have our bid report, and in particular, I want to call your attention to the annual independent audit. We did put that out for bid. We received 2 responses, and we are recommending the lowest cost and the incumbent firm.
Any questions, Ms. Eubank? We want to go ahead, accept that and approve this bid. We do them separately. We have a motion to accept the financial reports and approve the bid that's presented for selection of auditor. So moved. Second. I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Yeah.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, ma'am. This is our president report, Dr. Payne.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we'll start with the construction update. The large project is the ball field, and that is moving along, starting to make some real progress on this now that the weather has broken. The softball field is fundamentally done, except for dressing it up and a few finish up items. The baseball field is right in the middle of having the baseball field itself redone, and we're getting closer and closer to the end on the outside the fence portion of that project. We are getting close to laying sod and finishing the irrigation work. The last thing that will be done most likely will be the paving of the roadway into there and the lights on that road. Also this summer, we are renovating the chemistry laboratory. So it has been completely torn out. The walls are now back in. All of the fixtures and equipment have been ordered and are on their way. Of course, the drop dead date on that is starting classes again in August. So that's where most of our facilities crew is focused. Had a very nice commencement ceremony. Well, I think it was one of the nicest ones we've been able to do. Had an extreme amount of positive feedback from the crowd, from our graduates, and from all of the employees about how that went. So proud to have commencement over. As a reminder, this actually was 2 commencement groups combined because we were not able to do commencement last year. So we brought back anyone who wanted to come from our previous year's graduates. We put them in the front, announced them separately, and let them walk through at the beginning of the ceremony. So it went very well. And of course, that same day, we did the pinning ceremony. That went off without a hitch. A lot of happy newly minted nurses. And now I'm going to ask Coach Brian Best to come up and talk a little bit about some of our successes we've had with softball, baseball, and rodeo. So if you'll bring the fellow coaches up, it's softball, basketball, and then rodeo is the order of the slide.
Softball first. The notorieties are that Lauren Joyner won Region 16 Player of the Year, and Coach Noah won the Region 16 Softball Coach of the Year. And so go talk about your season and all the award winnings.
Well,
I'm really proud.
it was a super year. A little bit challenging with the COVID stuff going on and not really having a field this spring. The city was awesome. Laney helped us out a ton over there, allowed us to play out there. We did get to host the district game, the super regional, whatever we call it, here for our first games on the field. I know a lot of people had to jump through some hoops to make that happen, but we wanted to host that on our field, big advantage. We went off without a hitch. Phil played awesome, a lot of good comments from everybody. Of course, winning that game, get to go to the game, that was a big deal for everybody. School took care of us, sent us out there, had a great trip, everything was smooth. When you take a group of 30 people or 30 plus people,
a lot can go wrong, and it went without a hitch. Our girl won the home run derby to open up the event out there, which was totally awesome. Made us all proud. The girls, I never felt like we played our best while we were out there. We went 2-2, finished 7th in the nation. You know, our goal was to be a top 10 program. We made that. That being said, we still were a little disappointed. We felt like we should have finished a little bit higher. But, it also experience. Anytime you get to go out there and you kind of get to see, compare yourself to other programs, see what they do well, take some things back, and hopefully build our program. Awesome experience.
How many girls you get coming back this year?
We have 10 coming back. We have 2 players coming back for a 3rd year. The COVID deal, our number 1 pitcher and our shortstop, both elected to return. So things look good for next year. Have all our pitching back. We got to replace a few big bats. You know, the kids, I mean, they got all kinds of recognition. I mean, we had player of the year in the region, I think 6 on all region team, 8 on the all conference team. We had 6 academic All-Americans. So it's been a great year. You know, hopefully we can. But anyway, thank you all for the support. That's awesome.
Good job, Coach.
So next we'll have Coach Wiggs come up, talk a little bit about his season, and especially about Shaylin Mosby and the award, special award that she got. Congratulations, man.
So about earlier this month had individual from the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame reach out about Shaylin Mosby and her tremendous accomplishments that she's had this year. So they asked for a jersey to hang up. It will hang up from July 1st all the way to the end of June in Knoxville, Tennessee. They choose right around 100 high school, college individuals who have their uniform hung up in the Ring of Honor at the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame there in Knoxville. So it's, I think they do like first team All-American, which Shaylee is our first team All-American since I believe Paula Porter King did it back in the 90s. So definitely a great honor to have. Tremendous recognition for not only Shaylee, but also Three Rivers College. And we're super proud. Shaylee was first team All-American, Region 16 Player of the Year, obviously first team All-Region and first team All-Conference. So definitely proud of her and her accomplishments.
They want to know what's coming back. How many?
Goodness, we have
Everybody.
yeah, everybody. So I guess we have 12 coming back. We have 5 new kids, so we have 17 right now. So there may be a couple of them there's some pretty big schools on a couple of them that may end up moving on, choosing to move on this summer, which don't blame them. But right now, Shaylee's coming back, first team All-American. Maya Elder's coming back, 3rd team All-American, and so we're liking where we're at. We're liking where we're at.
Thank you, Coach, and congratulations to Shayla.
Great person.
Next is congratulations to the bull riders, Cole Skender and Holden Moss. And we'll have Coach come forward and maybe talk about the national tournament and the rodeo team.
Yes, we just got back Monday from Casper, Wyoming. Great week. Could have ended better, but the boys, it didn't do nothing but light their fires. They're both coming back next year. Cole was on the fence on coming back. He's had some success professionally. He's actually been on the Built for Tough or the Unleash the Beast series or PBR the last month or so, and when he won second in the nation, it fired him up. He said he will win the nation next year, and he was coming back to school. So we got to get that fixed around, and that'll be great. Had a great time out there. Mrs. Dr. Payne and my wife wore me and Dr. Payne out on sightseeing and shopping, which actually I got out of. But the team, 2 guys, on a team, like, a team's made up of 6 people, a guy's team. I don't know how many, they take 22 teams for sure out there. And we finished in the top 13 in the nation with 2 guys. I don't know the records on that, but Coach Luthi at University of Tennessee Martin, who's been there for 30 years, was like, he'd never seen anybody finish in the top 15 with 2 guys. Like usually it's, a 6-man team. So that was something sure enough to be proud of. And then having 2 guys qualify for the short round and coming in number, I think we come in number 2 and number 4, and we ended up number 2 and number 4. Was pretty awesome, like for Three Rivers. And then the way the dramatic ending of the whole thing, there was some mixed emotions, but I think it gave us a better name the way we went after it. And everybody knows now that we're there to win first, we're not there to win second. I was super proud of the guys. Like they handled themselves like professionals all week. And we had a great year. Everybody's coming back. Actually picked up a few, we picked up several new girls and guys, but everybody that was there last year is coming back. So we should have a really good team next year.
Coach, I just checked, I think my eligibility is still good.
Absolutely, go Pine or.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Go Tide.
Happy birthday, bud.
I'm gonna buy him a hat, he'll just pay.
Hey, Brian, can you get Coach Fitz to share that story of how it ended?
Okay. So, Holden, who came in second on 2 head bulls, had a rewrite. When he got on his bull, the stock contractors was working the neck rope on the bull. It was crazy. And the neck rope caught his head and pulled his head back, so he gave him a rewrite. So he gets on his rewrite bull, or he's getting ready to get on his rewrite bull, and the guy that was ahead of him in the nation writes his bull for 90 points. And it was a welter ride. So Holden gets on his rewrite bull and rides him, and he's still second in the nation with him riding that bull. And they give him another rewrite because the bull was weak. And when they did, the announcers and everybody there was telling him, well, you gotta do 94 points. Like there's no sense in you getting on, another bull. And he looked at me and I said, let's stick to the game plan. That's what we came here for all week. And we discussed it, like we were gonna turn down rewrite or take rewrites. I told them actually turn them down in the long rounds because 3 scores is going to win the nation. And they said, no, we're here to win the go rounds. And that's something I didn't bring up. We won 2 out of 4 go rounds, 3 Rivers. Won the first and second go round. So that was something huge right off the bat. But he said, no, I'm taking my rewrite. And there was a lot of people questioning me, and the announcers like, you can't be 94 points. And he told them, unless it was 100 points, like he was coming to win first. So he took it. It didn't work out. But it's like I told him, nobody remembers second place, but everybody remembers the guy second that was trying to win first. Several people asked me, and that's what I told them. It kind of changed their mind about it. They like the way we went at it. I think Three Rivers is a threat. I think people see us as a threat now. Whereas when we went in last week, they didn't know who Three Rivers was. Coming out on this side, they know exactly who we are now.
And this is not a junior college, this is 4-year schools and 2-year schools. And everybody.
It is yes. It's juniors, 4-year universities, all of them mixed together. So
Thank you.
thank y'all. Oh,
Don't talk to me about that. That is a high class stuff. No, I ain't taking. First day of summer classes started June 7th. We're off to a good start. It is a very different enrollment pattern than it has been in the past. post-pandemic, and I guess for most of the world still in the pandemic, it has pushed a lot of our enrollment to online. So if you're around campus, either here or at any of our external locations, there's not a lot of students milling around. They're somewhere on their computer. So it's a very different feel. I think the increase, or at least a increase in online, will persist throughout the long run, but I don't think we will see the percentages that we now see. I think that will pull back a little bit as the world calms down. On June 11th, we were able to host the Endowment Trust Golf Tournament. It is probably the most successful golf tournament that we have been able to host, both as a fundraiser and with the number of participants. So we have 24 slots, we have 24 teams. So we sold out the golf tournament. We only went off pretty much without a hitch. It slowed down a little bit because the day before we got 3 inches of rain. So it was cart path only. So it did slow down play a little bit. And it was warm, but it was not the hottest day we've ever had a golf tournament on. So that worked well. And not only have we been successful this year in the athletic arena, we have had some outstanding academic successes as well. So each year, students out of our office procedures program we require them to sit for the Microsoft Office Specialist exams. And this year, Shelby Sayer won 3rd in the state as far as high score on the MOS certification exam. So we are tearing it up on the court, and we're tearing it up in the classroom too. So lest anyone think that we are strictly focused on athletics, academics is succeeding very well also. Some upcoming events: 4th of July, we will be closed July 2nd through the 5th. The 4th falls on a Monday, so Sunday. So we will be closed. Well, yes, it falls on a Sunday, so we will be closed that following Monday. And of course, we are on a 4-day week, 4 10-hour days for summer hours. So be a very long weekend for everybody in a nice, relaxing time. Drama camp, 29th year of drama camp, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., July 12th through the 16th, with the final performance on July 16th at 11 a.m. Come one, come all, get your kids in drama camp. It's a great experience. First day of fall classes, August 16th. And that, Mr. Chairman, is the end of the president's report, and we do have an executive session.
Sir, we have a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion.
Second.
Trustee Hager,
Yes.
trustee Harrison.
Yes.
Trustee Shock,
Yes.
trustee Williams, trustee Ferguson.
Yes. All right, so executive session, we'll be back in a few minutes. So it's Bill's time. He's seriously considering this. What do you tied up to it?
It's like what the 3rd grade girls do in 4-H rotary.
Back in open session, item 6 on the agenda, consideration approval of the FY22 annual budget. I move to approve the budget as presented to us.
I'll second that.
Motion to the second.
Trustee Hager,
Yes.
trustee Harrison,
Yes.
trustee Shock,
Balance. Yes.
trustee Williams, trustee Ferguson.
Yes. Consideration of approval of moving August board meeting to August 25th.
Finding the substance, something of substance.
Right. I think we should have a long debate about it.
If she would have just held off a week on the email, it wouldn't none of us know the difference.
Timing of the tax levy, we need to move the meeting to later in the month. If we have a motion to approve that.
I'll make the motion to move the meeting to August 20th.
We need a second.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Motion is second.
Trustee Hager,
Yes.
trustee Harrison,
Yes.
trustee Shock, Trustee Williams. And trustee Harris.
Yes. Consideration and approval of all personnel action and associated documents.
I move to approve as presented.
Motion in a second.
Trustee Hager.
Yes.
Trustee Harrison.
Yes.
Trustee Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
Trustee Williams. And trustee Hubbard.
Yes.
The new CAO, pronouncing Phelan.
Is there anything else? We're good. If not, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Have a second.
All those in favor say aye. We're done. So I had dinner last couple weeks ago, our governor.
Yeah.
He is good friends with Billy Gates. Billy is coming to work for us.
Okay.
Didn't you-